The Galactic Assembly's laughter echoed through the crystalline chambers of Station Prima, rippling across 1,000 different vocal cords and sound-producing organs. Ambassador Zixathera of the Hegemony wiped tears of mirth from her 6 eyes as she gestured toward the holographic display showing Earth's orbital defenses. "Death World," she wheezed between chuckles. "They actually call their little mud ball a death world. Look at those pathetic orbital platforms. My hatchling's toy fleet could disable them in a solar cycle." The assembled delegates, representatives from 47 different species spanning the galaxy, nodded in agreement. The Terrans had been silent members of the Galactic Assembly for 3 standard years now, contributing little to discussions and making no demands. Their single representative, a quiet human named Sarah Chen, sat motionless in her assigned seat, her dark eyes fixed on some distant point beyond the chamber. "Walls, the audacity," rumbled Korath the Destroyer, his massive bulk shifting in his reinforced chair. "Humans claim their world breeds the strongest warriors in the galaxy, yet they've never participated in a single military action. What kind of warriors hide behind their star system's edge, never venturing beyond?" More laughter, more mockery. Zixathera pulled up Earth's planetary data with a theatrical flourish. Average gravity, 1 standard unit. Atmospheric pressure, perfectly normal. Temperature range laughably mild, and they call this a death world? She turned to address Chen directly. "Tell us, little human, what makes your garden paradise so dangerous? Do your flowers have thorns?" Sarah Chen didn't respond. She hadn't spoken in the assembly chambers for over a year. The mockery continued for another hour. Delegates shared jokes about human fragility, their primitive technology, their inexplicable reluctance to join the galaxy's numerous conflicts. Some wondered aloud if humans were perhaps the most cowardly species ever discovered. Others suggested Earth should be reclassified as a pleasure world, given its apparently benign conditions. Through it all, Sarah Chen remained silent. Laughter died abruptly when the emergency klaxons began wailing. Admiral Cathos of the Void Serpents materialized as a shimmering hologram in the center of the chamber, his scaled features twisted with panic. "The Devourers have broken through the Perseus Arms defensive line. They're heading for the core. Worlds. Estimated arrival, 6 standard days." The chamber erupted in chaos. The Devourers, a hive-minded species that consumed entire worlds, hadn't been seen for 2 centuries. Every species in the assembly had stories about them, legends of their unstoppable swarms and their hunger for all organic life. "How many ships do we have?" demanded Korath. "Every available vessel from 12 sectors," Cathos replied. "Nearly 10,000 warships, but our intelligence suggests the Devourer fleet numbers in the hundreds of thousands." The panic was palpable. Delegates frantically contacted their home worlds, ordering evacuations and last-ditch defensive preparations. Some species began recalling their colonial ships, preparing to flee to the outer rim. In the midst of the chaos, Sarah Chen stood up. The simple action somehow cut through the noise. Perhaps it was the unexpectedness of it, the silent human, finally moving, or perhaps there was something in her posture that demanded attention. The chamber gradually quieted. "You want to know about death worlds?" Sarah's voice was soft, but it carried clearly through the chamber's acoustics. "You want to know why Earth earned that classification?" She walked to the central holographic display, her movement precise and controlled. With a gesture, she replaced the star charts with images of Earth. "This is a human child," she said, showing footage of a 6-year-old girl playing in a garden. She weighs 30 kilograms and stands 1 meter tall. The assembled delegates watched, confused by the apparent non sequitur. "Now watch what happens when she encounters one of our planet's smaller predators." The footage showed a large spider, a huntsman, its leg span nearly the size of the child's head, dropping onto her shoulder. The delegates tensed, expecting screams of terror. Instead, the child calmly picked up the spider, examined it with curiosity, and gently placed it on a nearby plant. "That spider," Sarah continued, carries venom that could kill most of you within minutes. To her, it's just another neighbor. She changed the image to show human children swimming in Earth's oceans. These children are swimming above creatures that could bite them in half with a single snap of their jaws. They call it going to the beach. More images flashed by. Humans hiking through forests filled with predators, camping in areas prowling with creatures that would terrorize most galactic species. Children playing in backyards where venomous snakes lay hidden in the grass. Every human child grows up surrounded by thousands of ways to die, Sarah said. We breathe an atmosphere so corrosive it would burn through most of your respiratory systems. We drink water that would poison half the species in this chamber. Our gravity would crush many of you within days. The chamber was dead silent now. But you want to know the real reason Earth is classified as a death world? Sarah's voice grew quieter, more intense. It's not the predators. It's not the environment. It's not even the diseases that would kill you in hours. She paused, letting the silence stretch. It's that we survived all of it, and thrived. For 200,000 years, Earth tried to kill us. We adapted. We learned. We became harder. Sarah touched the display again. This time, it showed the Terran fleet positions. Not the orbital platforms the Assembly had been mocking, but the real fleet. Ships emerging from stealth positions throughout the Sol system. Vessels that had been disguised as asteroids, hidden in gas giant atmospheres, lurking in the shadow of moons. The numbers were staggering. Not hundreds of ships. Not thousands, tens of thousands. You laughed at our silence, Sarah said. You mistook our restraint for weakness. You thought our reluctance to join your wars meant we couldn't fight. She looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes of delegates who had been mocking humans just hours before. Earth didn't answer your laughter with words, she continued. We answered with preparation. While you fought each other over resources and territory, we built. While you celebrated your victories in small conflicts, we planned for the war we knew was coming. The holographic display now showed detailed tactical plans, strategies for fighting the devourers that had been developed over decades, incorporating weaknesses the galaxy had forgotten and strengths that had never been properly cataloged. The devourers are coming, Sarah said. They remember easy prey. They remember worlds that fall quickly, species that break under pressure. She smiled, and there was something predatory in the expression. They don't remember Earth. The silence stretched for long moments before Admiral Kathos spoke, his voice hushed with something approaching awe. How many ships can Terra contribute to the defense fleet? Sarah Chen looked at him with eyes that had seen too much, inherited from ancestors who had survived ice ages and plagues, predators and disasters that would have destroyed weaker species. All of them, she said simply. The galaxy stopped laughing. Earth had answered.